Hello, chefs. This is Chef's PSA. I'm your host, André Natera. Today, my guest is Chef Ashish Alfred. He's an award-winning chef and restaurateur. He's been the co-host of Bar Rescue, as well as been on countless other TV programs. Today, we're going to get into the challenges of running restaurants, working in France, and a little bit of the behind the scenes of being on TV. You'll enjoy this one. Stay tuned. I have a question. So, Bar Rescue, how real is that?
Oh, it's real. It's very real. Almost, John sat me down and told me a story when I first met him, and almost to his detriment is that show real. He told me that when the show first started, there was an executive or a producer that wanted him to plant like a dirty tampon somewhere and get that on film, and John told the guy to get fucked, basically. And they had to fly an executive out from the network, and the network was like, "Listen, we get it. You want it to be real, but you can't tell the producer to get fucked."
Yeah.
He actually prides himself on the fact that it's real. It is real. They don't stage it. Obviously you got to sell TV shows. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
certainly. There's an entertainment aspect about it.
If it's bad, are they going to draw attention to something that's bad? Yeah, of course. Because people, are watching for the blood and the guts and the gore and the fungus and the mold and the whatever. But it's real. I mean, there's no plants there. It's real.
Uh, how does it work for the person that's at the bar? Like, is there immediate friction between you guys and them when you go in? Or is it like they're welcoming and they're excited to have you, but
I mean, I think that they're excited to get their bar made over.
yeah,
They're excited
for the PR, the publicity.
publicity, to
Yeah.
get that influx of people coming in the door. They're excited for that. When they realize the cost at which it comes,
Yeah.
I think they become a little bit less excited. The magic of that show and the magic of John Taffer, the reason that he's been able to carry it for as long as he has, is it is almost like being a chef.
Yeah.
You got to know when to kiss him. You got to know when to shove him. And to make it even more difficult, you got to be able to do it when the camera's watching.
Yeah.
Because if you can't build tension, you got to be able to walk in and identify who your players are. Like when you walk into your kitchen, all right, this guy, a boss on prep. This guy sucks on prep, but he's going to get me through service. When I'm 27 tickets deep, this guy's going to pull me through. Going in as the host of that show, you've got to be able to figure out who your players are really quick. Who's going to give you the most and who's going to give you dick.
Yeah. How did you get hooked up with that show? What's the story?
Like a lot of things in my life,
Yeah.
there's no great story. I got a phone call. They asked me if I had any interest. Let's face it, there's probably some CRM sheet, right?
Yeah.
I got a phone call. They asked me if I had some interest. They did some interviews. They did some background checks. And 6 months later, I was in some armpit of Florida.
Yeah.
Meeting Mr. Taffer and getting involved with this bar. It was a great experience. I learned a lot.
Would you do it again?
I'm really excited about that kind of concept.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about taking my perspective as a chef and as a minority and as a business owner, and as somebody who has failed in business as well.
Sure.
And is, wears that badge pretty proudly. Take that and apply it. I don't know that I could apply all that going back to, if I went back to Bar Rescue.
Okay.
I think that for me, I'd be more interested in like a chef-driven.
Yeah, what would that look like? Because I think about like some of the top chef shows. So you got Next Level Kitchen, which is entertaining as hell. I like
Yep.
that show. I normally don't watch a lot of food TV.
Yeah.
But Next Level Chef kind of hooked me in because it was like, what the fuck am I watching? This is pretty great.
Yeah.
Top Chef, obviously, I think they've kind of done a great job. Obviously, they're still on the air for all these years. Iron Chef, I wish they'd bring it back correctly. Just bring it back correctly. But I also look at what's on YouTube now, and I feel like we're talking Josh Wiseman earlier. I really like what he's doing. And I see like the Mr. Beast of culinary. I see maybe it's going that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, if you had a magic wand and you were going to say, okay, like, what would be the ideal show that would excite you to jump in?
I'd love to go back into a show that, was a lot like Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
With a little bit more of a culinary focus. I think that'd be really exciting. There is something really satisfying about getting the hug. At the end of the episode, the hug, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real because for these people that you go out to help, and it's not just you. I should say this: there is a team of people. I can just speak for Bar Rescue. I don't know any other show that work morning to night, that are on the road the majority of the year, away from their families, their friends, their homes. They work so hard on that show. It blows my mind. That being said, I would, to answer your question, I would love to go back into a show like that because it's super satisfying to connect with people on that level. As you're an ex-restaurant owner, if somebody came in and threw you a lifeline, right? How grateful would you be if you didn't know any better?
Yeah.
To make that connection with people is really special. And the other show that I'd really like to do is I know a lot about French food. I've been cooking French food and you could say European food for all of my career. I've never really connected with my roots in India. And I think that there are a lot of amazing things happening with Indian food across this country. And I think that if I could apply what I know about Western cuisine to some of my Indian roots, and if I could build a show in a dream world, I'd be on a motorcycle riding around India, learning about Indian food and finding a way to pair that with what I already know.
This episode of Chef's PSA is brought to you by Foods in Season, your connection to what's wild, fresh, and exceptional. At Foods in Season, ingredients tell a story built on decades-long relationships. Wild Columbia River king salmon, dip net caught by native tribal families, fresh morels from trusted foragers, handcrafted pantry essentials like blease, bourbon-aged maple syrup, sherry 9 vinegar, and exquisite Prima truffle products. Top chefs nationwide trust Foods in Season for quality and consistency. Order today, have it on your line tomorrow. Visit foodsinseason.com and mention Chef's PSA and receive free shipping plus a complimentary sample box on your first order. Do you go to India often?
I've been once or twice every couple of years. I speak the language fluently.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful country. I think highly misunderstood. I think even at a very, very high level, you have like Gymkhana in London, you have Dhamaka, you have amazing Indian restaurants that really get it right. But I don't know that they have the right voice behind them to really kind of change people's perception and the conversation around Indian food.
What do you mean?
So how many times have you asked somebody, you like Indian food? And the first thing they say is, no, I hate curry.
That's actually never happened. Everyone loves curry.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I get your point.
It's happened to me a lot.
Yeah.
People mistake it from being it is a very strong flavor profile. People expect it to be overly spicy, overly greasy, brown food on brown sauce. And that's just not the case. It's a country of vibrant color, and it's a cuisine of vibrant color and different tastes. Pickling of mangoes, pickling of lemons, and I think that if all that nuance was brought together with maybe a lighter touch, and somebody that sounds like me,
yeah,
I think it could help break down some barriers.
So you bring up an interesting point because I don't think anyone's told the story well. At least not that comes to mind immediately of Indian food in the United States. No one's told the story. Not that no one's made great Indian food, but no one's told the story.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Floyd Cardoz, maybe. I don't know. Did he tell the story well? I mean, he's a legend.
I mean, he was before, definitely legend.
Yeah.
But he was before, I think, really social media had really taken off.
Yeah.
So I think that, did he have the ability to tell the story? 100%.
Yes.
Did he have the opportunity? Maybe not.
Right. He didn't have the platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. Again, talking about social media and talking about the platform and talking about TV.
Yeah.
And you've been on TV and obviously you're successful on social media as well. How important is it? So like a lot of what we do on Chef's PSA is like we're giving advice to younger cooks and chefs.
Yeah.
So people that are listening, like, what advice are you giving them? Like if they want to go the TV route or if they want to go the social media route, or is there like, hey, no, you need to ignore both those. This is what you need to do. And I understand that cooking is probably like learn how to cook first.
Yeah.
But let's assume they got that.
Yeah. I mean, assuming you know how to cook,
Yeah.
right? What's your angle? Why should you be on TV and not the other million guys that are trying to get on TV every time they take their phone and prop it up while they're chopping onions?
Mm-hmm.
What's your perspective? What's your story? What's your voice? What do you have to say that somebody else isn't already saying? There is so much competition to be on that screen, whether it's a screen on your phone, whether it's a screen on your couch, in front of your couch.
Yeah.
You're competing with the streamers, YouTube, TikTok. It is massive, and they're all fighting for the same ad dollars. Everybody, you hear when you're in kind of the circles, the television circles, right? You say, well, this place only uses the same talent all the time. This place only uses the same talent all the time. A lot of people are just scared to change what's working.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice would be work out what your angle is.
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table? I mean, if you're making, spaghetti carbonara, cool. Type spaghetti carbonara on Instagram right now. There's going to be 50 fucking videos.
Right.
And then 50 videos off of those videos. So, I mean, figure out what your perspective and what your voice is. And you don't have to have one. There's nothing wrong with having a great restaurant. There's nothing wrong with, even if it's not your restaurant, running a great kitchen and cooking great food and being a great chef and not making it there's nothing wrong with that.
But don't you think, like in today's restaurant world, you have to have some social media presence as a restaurant just to people know you exist?
Social media, yes, I agree. Social media, yes, you have to play the game.
Yeah.
It's just what we do. And my advice to restaurant owners, I do a little consulting, when they say, well, our chef doesn't like to do this and our chef doesn't like to do that, hire a new chef.
Yeah. He's a fucking ghost.
Sorry, hire a new chef.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't want to be on camera, cool, man, don't be on camera. But play, you got to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of the game.
Mm-hmm. I tell people, I've used this example before. Is like, let's say you have $5 million and you're going to build a restaurant and you need to hire a chef. And one chef, great resume, no social media presence. The other chef, maybe okay, 10 million followers. Who are you going to hire, right? You're going to hire the one with 10 million followers, even though he might not be the most talented chef. It's because we're in that attention economy. He's going to post something. He's going to have a line out the door. I got to be careful about saying what I'm going to say next because I don't want to get anyone in trouble that told me this. So I might change up the details a little bit. But I have a friend that helps book dinners. And he's talking A-list chefs and A-list content creators. He says sometimes they have to give away tickets to the A-list chefs events, but they sell out within minutes for the content creators.
100%.
And it's kind of mind-blowing because, well, one, for me, it says something that the content creator, one, they understand the market. Like people kind of not content creators sometimes, and I think like, be careful because they're fucking winning. Fancy Chef is beating everybody, right? But what they're doing is they're usually cooking to what people want to eat. Because they're not thinking like a chef. They're thinking like, I need to make a great fucking hamburger.
100%.
And that's why people are showing up. And then chefs are thinking, not all chefs, but a lot of chefs are thinking, well, I want to blow you away with this fucking broken white sauce with green oil and this fermented this, that, and the other. And I want to impress my chefs. You're great. You impressed a bunch of chefs that don't go to your restaurant.
Yep.
And I think that's why, back to my friend's point, I think that's why a lot of the content creators are selling out their dinners.
100%.
And their cookbooks are selling out.
100%.
And these award-winning chefs are struggling.
150%. You could not be more right. There's guys that I know today, and I'm not going to name any names. These guys are good friends of mine. And they'll look me in the face and they know you'll cook me on the table any day of the week. Mm-hmm. But I'm cooking fried chicken with like whiskey barbecue sauce and like drizzling it all over from 5 feet high.
Yeah.
People want what they want.
Yeah.
And that's not by any means me saying you got to sell out, but you got to find a little balance.
Yeah. You got to read the room a little bit.
I for a long time, I ran a aligot in my restaurant. Inconvenient, pain in the ass, middle of the summer, but it was mashed potatoes with fucking cheese.
We're going to get to the cheese though.
Huh?
Hold on. Before you tell the whole story, what was the method for the cheese? Would you freeze it? Would you grate it? How'd you get the cheese in there?
Oh, we just threw it in au minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. We added a little cheese. We did it right.
Yeah.
Copper pan on the flat top.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it right.
Just.
Oh yeah.
Stretch it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then of course yelling from the line, I'll go in the window. Because as soon as it goes cold, it's not stretching. But it's one of those things that, Was it my favorite thing in the world to do? Did the cooks like it? No, nobody liked it.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it brought people in the door. The burger that was like best burger, whatever. I could not stomach the idea of putting a burger on my menu. I was like, I don't think that we need a burger. I don't think that we need a burger. Now, everywhere I go that I consult for, you guys need a burger on the menu.
Right.
You need a burger and fries.
Fucking chefs, the chefs there, they're like, why, chef?
Why?
I thought you were one of us.
Yeah.
How dare you tell us to put a fucking burger on the menu, right?
Because it sells, motherfucker.
Right, exactly. Because it's going to be your number one fucking seller.
100%.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, it's funny. Back to the alley go, we used to freeze our curds and then blitz them and throw them in.
Okay.
That was our trick. That seemed to work.
We used to do Grey Gruyere, which is not typical, but it's really hard to get. What's the actual cheese that's supposed to go in?
I don't know how to use Grey Gruyere.
we use Grey Gruyere, and then we would, to give it a little acidity, we just add in a tablespoon of creme fraiche on the end.
Yeah, there you go.
And it was great.
Yeah, fuck.
And then of course I made it on TikTok. Yeah, I made it on TikTok. I used a whole potato for my boy Danny Grubbs. I made it on TikTok, and then of course all the Frenchies were in there. That's not real, Aligo. You didn't use the right. Get fucked.
Yeah, it's okay. Then don't call it Aligo. Yeah. These are just cheese potatoes. Then how about that? Fuck you. Fuck. People get so particular about the right way to make everything. It's like, you know what the right way is? The way I'm fucking like. Are they happy? Like, who cares?
You said something, and it sang to me. You were like, I don't respond to the negative Nancy's. Like, I don't respond. Like, if you've got something shitty to say, you've got something stupid to say, I don't respond. I couldn't agree with you more.
I don't reward bad behavior with my attention, and I don't argue with idiots.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, like if you're an idiot, I'm not gonna fucking respond. Like
my mother, who you'll probably hear me quote more than once, but she gives good advice, and most of the time she gives good advice. Yeah. And she always says, if you're walking past somebody's yard and their dog's barking, are you gonna bark back?
Yeah, that's a great one. Don't bark back.
Don't bark back.
don't bark back. Yeah, fuck that dog. How dare you disrespect me? I'm going to get off on a food tangent, but I'll tell you. You know what I really like about you? Like, we have a lot more in common than I think as we're discovering, right? Mm-hmm. But one of the things that we really have in common is I cook just like you. Like I watch the way you cook, and I'm like, that's how I cook, but that's also how I eat. That's what I wanted. Like, if you give me a blank slate and just open up a restaurant, like, I'm just going to cook like that. It's going to be fucking aligo. It's going to be a proper roasted chicken. Yeah. It's not going to be 2 crates. It's going to be some arjuk barigol. It's going to be like, make it taste good first.
I can't tell you how good that is to hear, because as a chef, I think we feel like we're on an island.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us struggle with that imposter syndrome. The ones of us that are good, I think. We always wonder if we could have done it differently, could have done it better, if anybody really likes it. So to hear that come from you, somebody who I also respect very much, that means a lot to me. So thank you.
Thank you. It's like I had my Marco Pure White moment where it's like, who am I cooking for?
Yeah.
Right? Who am I cooking for? Like, I like making pretty food. Don't get me wrong. But it feels like it's lip filler and it's BBL and it's pretty food is implants. Yep. You know what I mean? It's cosmetic surgery. But a beautiful roasted chicken is like, fuck, like, I want to marry that.
Yeah.
That's what I want to marry.
Yep.
I want to marry the roasted chicken. I want to eat something good, and I want to say I want to eat it again forever.
Yes.
Right? I don't want to say I tried it. Great. It was weird. It was cool. I got to see this. I could mark that off the list.
Yeah.
One and done.
I think the best restaurants marry the two. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I ate at Le Coucou in New York City last week. I was there.
I saw your story. It looked crazy good.
It was so good. And so you would think walking in there it was going to be really stiff and whatever. Man, it was just the right amount of zhuzh on the plate.
Yeah.
So bone-warmingly satisfying. I mean, they just got it right. There's nothing, this is a little bit off topic, but I tell people all the time, if you want a really great meal, go somewhere that does not have a Michelin star, but they're about to get one. Or go somewhere that's got 2, because if they got 2, they're fucking trying for 3.
Yeah.
Or go somewhere that's got 1, because if they got 1, they're probably moving to 2. And I think Le Coucou does not have one yet, but they're trying to get there, and that experience was a singular one that will stand out in my mind.
Did you have a sweetbread dish?
I did not.
You did not.
I do like sweetbreads.
Yeah.
But I did not.
No, I thought maybe I saw one on your story.
No,
I saw a sweetbread dish recently.
It was a pike mousse.
Was it? Yeah.
It was like a cannelle de brochet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super good.
Fuck, that's great. Yeah, and again to the point, cannelle de brochet. and then the Paul Bocuse one,
Yep.
right? It's like white on white with some caviar, and it's best thing
Yep.
ever, right?
I did that Danny Grubbs video. The first one that I ever did. He brings me McDonald's, says make my McDonald's gourmet.
Mhm.
So I took filet of fish, added some scallops, made a mousse, passed it.
Yeah.
But that's like rooted in so much tradition. It's so much skill and technique, and I caught myself going back to the guys that I had worked for and going back to school where I'm like putting the Robocool in the freezer. I'm putting ice in the Robocool before I make the mousse. And when you do stuff like that, you got to wonder, man, when does this die?
Yeah.
Because I could
It's
never
close.
put that on my menu.
It's close. Someone messaged me today. They sent me a clip from a podcast where they were talking. Unfortunately, I don't remember who the chef was that was talking, but he was talking about how a lot of times, like, cooks are so focused on tasting menu, they're really good at the 3 or 4 things that they do.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to cook.
Yep.
They don't know how to have multiple pans on. And I think about that. And so the person that messaged me, she said, why do you think that is? And how do you solve it? I said, well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's because of the incentive structure for a restaurant and the incentive structure for attention. So the incentive structure for attention is I make pretty food with flowers and nasturtiums and broken oils. I'm going to get a lot of likes, vanity metrics. So I will make more of that because it grabs attention visually.
Yeah.
On the other side, the restaurant says, well, I want awards. I want a best new. I want a Michelin or James, whatever. So what do those restaurants have in common? This kind of food plus maybe tasting menu. Okay, I'll do more of that. And so we start working towards the incentive structure, whether that's social media metrics or, vanity metrics, or if that's, awards or whatever. And somewhere along the lines, we forgot how to cook.
Yeah.
We forgot that it needs to taste good. And I get it. By the way, I get it. You want to grow your Instagram account. You want to have awards because it fills up your restaurant. But at the end of the day, like, how do you not make it just about that and still bring it back to the food? I don't have the answer. It's just something I'm thinking of.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, not that you asked me a question, but I there's nothing wrong with either, right? If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. I think where my ass gets chapped is when I walk into a place that clearly doesn't have the personnel, the space, the equipment, the setup, we'll say, to do the nasturtium and the broken white sauce, they don't have it, but they want to do it.
Right.
And that's a big piece of advice that I give to young chefs. Go work in different places. Shut up. Make the money you need to make to just pay your bills, whatever. Go work in a bunch of different places so you can get those experiences so that when you end up in the driver's seat, you have a very clear understanding of what not only you are capable of, but what you as a team are capable of. My rise and fall happened mainly because I thought I just expected everybody to be on the same page. And while my business was small enough for me to pull everybody onto the same page, not saying anybody's worse than me or they didn't work hard or they didn't care, but at some point, if your vision's Kool-Aid, right? At some point, that Kool-Aid starts to get diluted a little bit when there's not as much of you to go around. And I truly undervalued, which I will never do again because I lost a lot of confidence. I undervalued the value of my presence in my buildings.
What do you mean?
You had mentioned Marco Pierre White earlier.
Yeah.
He speaks on it pretty candidly. He told Michelin to take their stars back because he said, I think that if I have the stars or if the restaurant's going to bear my name or whatever, I have an obligation to my clients to be in that restaurant. I can tell you unequivocally, when I had just 1 or 2 or maybe even up to 3 places, my stores ran beautifully because I could be there a lot more. Once it got past 2, if I'm being even more honest, once it got past 2, it started to get away from me.
Right.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with if you don't need to be in your business every day and it runs fine, great. But what I wanted from my restaurants was I wanted the pike mousse. I wanted the perfectly seared scallop. I wanted the, French onion soup with duck confit, and I assumed that everybody cared as much as I cared. And it's not wrong that they didn't. They didn't stand to benefit in the same way that I did.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't ending up on the front of a magazine. They weren't getting that kind of money. They weren't being offered TV deals. They cared because we had a relationship. As there was less and less of me being seen, that relationship is now starting to dilute.
Mm.
And I think there's people, they say people don't leave jobs, they leave bad supervisors. I think that as I started to dilute myself, I had started to lose a lot of confidence because I wasn't in control. And as chefs, what do we die for? We die to be in control. And as I started to spread myself, I think that maybe I didn't. My dreams were bigger than my bandwidth. I think I said this to you before. And everybody just wasn't on the same page. And that doesn't make them bad people. That doesn't mean that they did anything wrong. I was so stressed and so insecure because I knew I was barely holding it together. I was a different person than the person these guys set out to work for.
Did you have anyone at that time with you, like your ride or die while you're going through all of this?
I did, but I think I made the mistake of pushing them away.
Yeah.
Because when there's that much attention on you, and you know the real story, you know that, like, man, I'm working 16 hours a day just to hold this together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not cooking because I'm running from the bank to the lawyer's office to make sure that I can pay the insurance company, to making sure that I got enough cash in the bank for payroll. I know on the inside, I'm not the person that this person set out to work with or work for.
Mm.
Now, I had people who cared about me desperately, who hated to see what was happening, but what could they do?
Mm.
So for me, you get to a place where I'll just talk about myself. I got to a place where it was like, it was me versus everybody, instead of letting my foot off the gas a little bit and being like, okay, let me embrace what these people are here to do. Free them to make mistakes. Let them do the best that they know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you learn a lot. You learn a lot more through failure than you do through success.
Completely agree. I think back to a moment when I was partner in this restaurant, and I had one of my sous chefs, and she came up to me one day and she's like, "Oh my God, my mom saw you in the paper." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." I was like, "I didn't even realize that." And she put it up. She put it up like on our bulletin board, right? And she's like, "Why didn't you tell us?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, I'm in the fucking paper every other day. Like, I don't care. It's another interview. It's another TV show that I got to go cook." And I'll never forget how she made me feel with what she said next. She said, "But that's the problem." She says, "We care because we work for you. We're proud of it. And the fact that you don't care,
Yep.
how do you think that makes us feel?"
Yep.
And I remember it fucking hit me. I was like, damn, she's right.
And I think the lesson there is, if you're going to be the guy,
Yeah.
you got to be the fucking guy.
Yeah.
And for me, I had stopped being the guy because I felt so defeated. I stopped being the guy. And I shouldn't say, I stopped being the guy. I wasn't this vibrant, energetic, dependable even person that these people could really rely on, because I had done too much. I let my ego get too big, and I just assumed that I could handle this and handle this and handle this and handle that. And then the reality of, hey, the walk-in went down here, and you have payroll this week, and you have this other brand new restaurant that's doing about 30% less business than it should be doing. And you have a labor case at this other one that you got to get handled. I mean, I think when all of that came down on me, the reality of all that coming down on me, it just it really affected how I showed up to that staff, to those people.
When do you decide it's time to make a change? Like, when you come to that decision that it's time to make a change, and how difficult is it to then act upon that decision?
I realized that if I was going to keep going, that I would be running that business as a shadow of how I intended it. I always prided myself on paying people the best salary that I could pay them. treating people as well as I could possibly treat them. I ran that business because I wanted to be a phenomenal employer. When I felt those things going by the wayside,
Mm-hmm.
the principles on which I had started, whether it was the food, the service, when I felt all that going away and I started feeling like the restaurants were becoming less and less and less and less of a place that I was really proud to be inside of, then I was like, all right, right now I've got a reputation. I've people know I can cook.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurants are generally full. Now's a good time to like do what Seinfeld did, drop the mic, fuck off, find my next thing.
Yeah. How difficult is it? Because first of all, what people don't realize, because everyone wants to open up a restaurant. You talk to any, I want to open up a restaurant. Like you say you do.
Yeah.
Do you really? But anyway, no one ever talks about closing a restaurant, how difficult that is. I know when we closed, I mean, and so I've closed restaurants, but I've also closed a hotel during COVID, and that was also extremely difficult. And I'm not just talking about like the emotions that go into closing something down, but like all the food is still there. People are starting to steal shit. The TVs are, the disgruntled busboy is like trying to take the TV off the wall because you're not going to pay me. Right. So there's it does get kind of ugly. And so there is a certain, there needs to be certain measures in place when you're closing down a restaurant, because there's a, I hate to say there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, but where am I going with this?
Do you tell people or do you not tell people? Is that what you mean?
I mean, yeah. I mean that's a very controversial thing to talk about. Is do you tell people or do you don't? And you don't have to answer that.
No, you tell people.
You do tell them. When do you tell them though?
You tell people.
When do you tell them, when you make the decision, or do you tell them when it's already in motion?
I did what I thought was best. I let people know. If I'm not mistaken, I think for the most part we let everybody know about a week out.
Yeah.
Wherever it was possible, wherever I really had control over the situation. But the truth of the matter was, I think people saw the writing on the wall. I mean, we were bouncing checks. I mean, yeah. I was towards the end. I was running to Restaurant Depot twice a week because I couldn't order from purveyors.
Yeah.
People, and this is the first time I have spoken about this since it happened. So I'm going to be really painfully honest. And I think that anybody who's been in the restaurant business in this country or in any country know what that looks like. When you close a restaurant, chances are you're on 30-day terms with your vendors. You might have the money. You're on a lease that's got some personal guarantees on it, whether it's a limited personal guarantee or a long-term personal guarantee. You've got some guarantees there that you need to sort out. You've got taxes that you got to pay.
Mm-hmm.
You've got everybody's final payroll. Now, mind you, if you're closing a restaurant, it's not because it was full to the rafters.
Right.
So you were struggling to make payroll before.
And realistically, you probably should have closed it 2 months before you're actually closing.
150%.
Yeah.
And it bothers me so much. I wear my stories on my sleeve. I don't care what are you going to say to me that's not in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least, do have the decency of asking me, and I'll tell you the truth. But
right.
It bothers me so much when I see people get needlessly dragged by the media. Maybe there are some really shitty bosses out there. Maybe there are. Maybe there are some really, really shitty owners out there that do really, really terrible things. But I can only speak for myself. I went to culinary school. I didn't go to business school. I did the best I knew how to do with the resources that I had, which, in my opinion, is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
We opened 6 restaurants over the course of 15 years. We opened 6 restaurants. Very well reviewed. They all did pretty good. It just got bigger than I could manage at some point. But when somebody closes a restaurant and then they get dragged by the media, and then people jump in the comments, oh, they this, oh, they that, oh, they whatever. You have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't bother me so much because I have made myself available for public consumption through my Instagram, through TV, through whatever else. So you're allowed to have an opinion about me. I don't care. This train's going to keep on rolling. Mm-hmm. But it bothers me when I see other independently owned businesses, that really operate with a lot of love and a lot of integrity for their team, for their staff. And then, people jump out there and they have the most awful things to say. And then you have the reporters that are looking for the gotcha moment, right? They're combing through the court cases or the whatever, try to find a way to like get the last bit of marrow out of this thing that you've given your entire existence to. That's my,
Yeah. It's tough. It's not for the faint of heart. I think a lot of people that want to open restaurants, work in a restaurant first.
yeah,
Like
go
like
in a
like
restaurant, for
like
sure.
like run someone else's restaurant. Make sure you learn as much as you can, because the cooking needs to be on autopilot. You have to be comfortable making decisions in someone else's business. Let's say you're hired as the executive chef. You have to be comfortable putting the burger on the menu.
Yeah.
Because if you're not comfortable putting the burger on the menu in someone else's restaurant,
Yeah.
like, are you going to be able to do it when it's your restaurant?
100%.
Yeah. When you want to, I just want to make broken green and white oil with crudo. Yeah. If I could pick your brain a little bit, because a lot of people listen to this who want to open restaurants.
Yeah.
And the fact that you opened many.
Yeah.
The first question I have is, I want to open up a restaurant. Where do I get the capital? Where did you start? Because you said you did it all alone.
Yeah.
How did you first start getting all the capital to open these restaurants?
So my first one, I got the money from family.
Yeah.
That kind of set the stage for everything else. I did take a loan for the Duck Duck Goose in Baltimore. But aside from those two, right, where I took some initial seed money, the restaurants made the money for the restaurants, which was a huge mistake, by the way. Don't do that.
Yeah. Explain why.
Because the issue with doing that is when you have a bad day in one restaurant, you're taking from another restaurant to pay for the bad day that restaurant just had. Well, guess what? The thing about restaurants is they all fucking have bad days.
Yeah.
So now when you're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, eventually Peter's going to run out of money. And now Paul owes money to Peter, and Peter is going to go borrow money from John. And I think that chef mentality of just get through it, put out the fire, deal with this, refire that, okay, I can get through this. I'm strong enough, I'm smart enough, I can get through this. I just got to make it through this day to the next day. And that was that was a big part of the reason things kind of fell the way that they did.
And what advice would you give to people? We talked a little bit about raising capital and
raise twice as much as you think you need.
Raise twice as much, and then
raise twice as much more.
Okay. And what else would you say? Like, what are some important things, like, before you even think about doing this, make sure you have these ducks in a row?
If you're thinking about opening a restaurant, first ask yourself why. What is it that, if it's money, fuck off.
Chef, I want to make my food. I'm just kidding. But chef, I just want to do my food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Write me down your food. Right. Make me a list of 50 things that are your food, and then tell me how much they cost, and then tell me how many people you need to make them. If you can't do it, wait. You can get your laurels with somebody else's money. If you are good enough and you know enough about the business, you can earn your stripes, you can get your publicity, you can accomplish all those things with somebody else's money.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to say take advantage of somebody else, but if you work hard in whatever organization that you are in, you will find a higher pedestal, and then you will find a higher pedestal, and then you will find a higher pedestal. But if that is your answer, if I want to cook my food, okay, do 20 pop-ups. Do 20 pop-ups. You sell out every pop-up, right? And use that money to put towards your own PR. And if you're really getting juice, the world is going to tell you if you're good or not good.
Right.
If you suck, I'm sorry to say this. This is going to piss some people off.
No, go ahead.
But I'm going to say it. I've sat with chefs and restaurateurs that have told me, we never get a review, or we never get this, or we never get that. Yeah, because it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Or it's just not, even if it doesn't suck, it's just not that good. I get so angry with people, and it could be in any field. It could be athletics. It could be music. It could be food. People that have this like, okay, well, it should just come to me now because I'm good. You know how many people are good?
Yeah.
Think about
Just ask them.
Just 100%.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about how many people that you see. Well, we could scroll on TikTok or Instagram right now. How many good singers are we going to see? How many good chefs are we going to see? We're going to see some really talented people that you will never hear about.
Someone messaged me and they said, I'm thinking about, I think they wanted to open up a food truck. And like, what advice would you give me for...
What is your advice on food trucks, by the way?
I'll tell you. This is exactly what I told the guy. I said, before you go buy a food truck for $60K, buy a $300 Yeti, fill it up with whatever you're trying to sell. And if you can't sell out the $300 Yeti, you're welcome for saving you $60K. That's what's my advice. If you can't sell out the fucking Yeti, you're not going to sell out the food truck. And to your point, if you can't sell out your pop-up, you shouldn't be opening up a restaurant.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Sell out the pop-up consistently. Have a fucking line out the door. The demand has to be there.
Yep.
Yeah. Be smart. Don't go raise $1 million if you can't sell fucking 10 tickets to your pop-up.
Yeah. And, I'll talk about just a little bit of that. People expect to get things so quickly.
Yeah.
Bro, it was 5, 6, 7 years maybe before I really started getting juice from a media standpoint. And when I say 5, 6, 7 years, I mean, I'm opening, I'm closing, I'm working at night, I'm running the restaurant depot, I'm running the parties. I mean, you name it. I had great people around me. Don't get me wrong. I have in my life been privileged to work with some of the most doting, capable, kind human beings that any man could. That has been my blessing. That being said, I busted my ass, lost it more than once before anybody gave a shit to write anything about me.
Everyone loves you when you're on top, chef.
Oh,
yeah, no one loves when you're on bottom.
Oh yeah, for
you
sure.
got the ick.
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
was never that good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you're in France right now. Well, not right now, but you just came back from France. You're here for a brief stint.
I'm here right now. I'm going back.
Yeah. How's that?
Take everything you know about restaurants and turn it on its head.
Yeah. What did you see over there that we're doing wrong here?
I'm not gonna say we're doing it wrong, but I'll say we're doing it differently.
Yeah.
I see chefs that cook.
Yeah.
I see chefs whose pictures on the website and their faces on the pass.
Yeah.
Cooking. And that was a huge aha moment for me. I see how do I say this? I see the same passion for hospitality and service that I think guys like you and I got into this for. I see less gimmick, more grit.
Define that a little bit.
You ever walked into a restaurant and knew what you were going to get before you even sat down?
Sure.
That happened to you a lot here?
Not a lot.
Well, it doesn't happen very much over there either. So the good restaurants deliver as promised. They're not trying to bowl you over with the smoke and mirrors.
It's less Instagram food thirst traps.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And you may never hear about them, and they're okay with it. You may never walk through their doors, and they're okay with it. I see cooking, and they call it restoration there, but it's restauranting, being treated as the way you would treat like a craftsman, and treated with the same reverence and respect at a higher level. I mean, of course, there's a brasserie every 2 steps, and the chicken cordon bleu is probably frozen, so are the fries, and those are the tourist traps that you fall into.
Sure.
It's also been nice to experience a different kind of client, a client that is very appreciative. Not saying that the clients here aren't appreciative, but are very vocal about their appreciation there. I found that small efforts are really rewarded by the clients there, and even by restaurant ownership. They realize that culinary talent is not easy to come by. There's a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, I'm a chef. Oh, I can cook," and they accept that. But if you're good, they go out of their way to recognize the fact that you have an ability. And also one thing there that's been very different than here, um, assuming I was working over there.
Hmm.
Um, Apparently you have to have a visa to be able to work over.
You weren't working over there. You're just
No, I was
touristing.
I was just touristing. But I've noticed in restaurants
Yeah.
that when things get put on the menu, I'm sure it's not this way at a very high level, but it's a consensus.
Uh,
Everybody comes together, something gets put together,
mhm.
chef puts something together, and they all talk about it. They talk about the highs of it, the lows of it, the service, how it shows up on the table, and it could be something as simple as a tuna tataki.
Hmm.
And that's been really nice to experience. That feeling of, okay, it's us, not us versus them, as in
Yeah.
front of the house versus back of the house.
Right.
This is how we all represent ourselves.
What were you, Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah. How were the ingredients? How was the quality of ingredients?
Oh, I mean, listen, I can tell you, this is a totally different conversation, but I mean, there's something seriously broken with our food here.
Why do you say that?
I'll just talk about my own personal
Sure.
experience.
Sure.
You know me, I'm pretty careful about what I eat,
Mhm.
and well, I am and I'm not, but man, I've been living over there for the past 3-4 months. Never once have I felt bloated. Never once have I felt any form of indigestion. Never once have I felt like that weird kind of like uncomfortable, gassy feeling you get after you eat. And I eat, homie. Like I eat.
Mm-hmm.
I got here within 24 hours. I was on Pepsid again. I was on like Gas X or whatever, like just to make myself feel a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I strangely enough, I lost weight. I ate more when I was there, but I lost weight. My body got leaner. I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not going to pretend to, but it's a really, I felt it like emotionally I felt better.
Yeah.
Like just my headspace was better. I mean, a lot of your dopamine, serotonin, it comes from your gut.
Sure.
The quality of ingredients that you get there, I mean, are it's exceptional. I mean, we got whatever.
They got.
They got black basin one day, and it was as good as anything that you would find anywhere, here.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say here, but it was really, really good, Or I remember they did a gazpacho one day,
Mhm.
and tomatoes came in, and I didn't have one mealy, shitty tomato. I mean, granted, I ordered it in season, but it was really nice.
Yeah.
And it's also been nice to like retrain my palate a little bit. Because as chefs, how often does somebody have you taste something and you do this? Because it doesn't have enough salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
From what I've observed over there, the French have very delicate palates. And they don't salt the shit out of everything. And if you're gonna do like a white asparagus dish, it better taste like white asparagus.
Right.
There's somebody who works at a place that I spend a little time in. And if you could give Michelin stars to palates, this human being would have 3.
Really.
And that's been really nice to experience as a chef.
Mm. Is it?
I went over there to kind of bookend it. I said, okay, what am I going to do here? Right? What's next for me here? I can keep consulting at people's restaurants and waiting for the next thing to come through. And then thought about it, and I was like, I just want to be a better chef.
Yeah.
As long as you're good at what you do, the money stuff figures itself out. So how do I go get better?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that there wasn't somewhere I could have gone here, but I needed to remove myself from the situation for a little while, get back to feeling good. And for me, I figured, if I was going to be Steph Curry, who do I want to play for?
Right.
So I went over, and it's been great. I mean, who says it? The Jiro dreams of, is it Jiro? No. Who's the chef that said it? It was either Jiro or, nope. You can edit this however you want, but there was a chef. I want to say it might have even been Robuchon. To make delicious food, you have to eat delicious food.
Yeah.
If you want to make the best radish dish that you can make, go eat some really good radishes. And for me, that was the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. We're losing that a little bit here in the States. How do we get it back? That's part of that's why I rant about it so much on the podcast. Is like, how do we get back to cooking delicious food? If you had no incentive structure and you were just cooking for someone, would it be different? You know what I mean? Like, it would be completely different. If I invited you over to my house, I wouldn't cook for you the way I'd cook in the restaurant, because I feel like that is playing the game. Yeah. You're playing the game a little bit in the restaurant. If you came over, I'd have palmelli going, a roasted chicken, and maybe a whole fish, some braised artichokes, maybe a confit bialdi. That's what we'd eat.
Yeah, and I'd never leave.
Yeah, right. We'd have a good meal, and for dessert, we might just have some, a fresh fruit tart.
Yeah,
that's it. And you know what? We would probably be happier than if we got this geeked out food, right? I could stay on that subject for a long time and rant, so I won't, because I probably rant about it too much.
The other thing that's been cool over there is to see the cream come out of my food, to see the butter come out of my food, and to just watch everything get lighter.
What do you mean? So they're not cooking that much with cream and butter? Very little?
Very little. One, butter's expensive.
Yeah, okay.
And I was so used to the kitchens here where it's like,
mounted with butter. Yeah.
Fucking grilled broccolini, throw it in a pan real quick. Butter,
Yeah.
And that's not the case there. And it's been great. It's lightened my palate. It's also, from a business standpoint, from a business owner standpoint, because that's somebody who I am and who I will always be, it has made it ringingly clear why I did not see all the success that I wanted to see. I did at a small level, but as soon as I grew, I couldn't still be successful the way that I was running my businesses. I think I wanted to be a chef that owned businesses. I think that what I should have done is own businesses and found a really good chef.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough to realize that, though.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to ask you, because you're a big inspiration for me as well, your health and wellness journey.
Yeah.
Because it's something that you show. I think nowadays as a chef, it's very important. I think when we were coming up in kitchens, it was like it was different. Like, we didn't respect our bodies the way we should have, right? And in retrospect, I should have taken care of my back and my feet and my knees and everything else a little bit more if I had paid more attention.
Yeah.
But I think what you're doing, and I just did a podcast with the guys from Humans of the Kitchen, and they're doing this whole 86 Wellness Challenge. And I think that's so important. Like, what you're doing is incredible, but what are some of the things that, I guess, what pushed you into that? Like, because, I mean, you're taking it serious. like you're taking it serious. I'm inspired, but I'm like, I'll do it. I'll do half the intensity that you're doing.
I mean, it helps. I have a lot of time on my hands right now too, so that helps too. I mean, it's not always feasible. Man, I think that cooking is an athletic event.
I agree. It's an athletic sport
at any level. I think that cooking is hard, backbreaking work. And for me, my goal has always been, but I think I've been successful. I always wanted to be the best cook in my kitchen. And for me, that meant being faster, stronger, cleaner, nimbler than the guys to my left and right.
Yep.
You know how it is. You see a cook on the line and you're like, that guy's got moves.
Yeah.
Tony says it in his book.
Yeah. He kicks the...
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bumps the...
Yeah.
Yeah. They it's like... I like to call it kitchen karate.
Yeah.
They have that fucking... They just... Everything...
Yeah.
Kitchen karate.
And we... It's so easy to live an unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
How many times have you gotten off of work? It's 11:30 at night. There's nothing to eat except pizza.
Yeah, or a quick drive-through. Let me get that burger.
100%.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to stop eating that.
Yeah.
So I was like, the solution is I gotta get healthy.
Yeah.
And also for me, for my mental, my struggles with mental health have been no secret to anybody. I've struggled with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide. I've dealt with all of it. And I have found that if I do something for my body every day, I have a better day. And as chefs, business owners, we make so many commitments to other people, our vendors, our staff, our employees, our landlords, our clients that come in every day expecting to have a certain experience. We need to be able to make one commitment to ourselves. And why not that commitment be our bodies?
Yeah.
I mean, my knees kill me. My hands ache just randomly. I'll be sitting there and I feel like I almost can't catch my breath. My hands hurt so bad. My elbow, my neck. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
No, I feel it. Yeah.
And let's face it, as a chef, there's not a lot of money in this. So if I'm not going to make a lot of money and I'm going to beat up my body, why not be my own insurance policy and take care of that body and try to get longer shelf life out of this career so I can make a little bit more money?
Yeah.
And also, I think that, chef means boss. In France, in French, chef, has nothing to do with guy that can cook. Chef de cuisine is a guy that can cook. Chef by itself means boss. How here, if you get into a taxi, people say, hey, what's up, boss?
Right.
And there you get into a taxi, it'll be like, ça va, chef? What's up, boss? If you're going to be the boss, look like the fucking boss. I'm not saying that, everybody needs to have fucking 6-pack abs and, be ripped and whatever else. But there is a level of confidence that people get when they can ascertain that you take care of yourself.
Right.
Showing up into a room, being physically fit, you will get a different response from people than when you don't.
It's like I said, when someone comes up to you and says, have you been working out?
Yeah.
Like they fucking noticed.
Yeah.
They noticed. They know. And it's like, okay, why you? Yeah, I have. Thank you.
Now listen, man, let's face it. Look at all the other benefits. You eat better. You sleep better. You bone better.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
No, Sarah. I put this in one of my books, where I said there's 3 things you cannot lie about. There's only 3 things.
Yeah.
Food, fighting, and fucking. Right? You can't lie. Like you could say you could cook, but when they try your food, they know. Right? You could say you could fight until you get into a real fight.
Yeah, sure.
Then people will know.
Yeah, sure.
And then obviously in the bedroom, people know.
Yeah, sure.
There's
and also,
line.
you said fight. Let's face it. The kitchen is, at a lot of levels, the kitchen is a very hormonally driven environment. And it can, if it's busy, I'm not saying it's violent, like people are punching each other in the face, but it can be a physically violent on your body, on your brain. Being of sound body really helps. Also, I'm a short dude.
Yeah.
If I'm coming down the line, I want you to feel me coming before I'm coming.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, and you're 100% right. Like I tell people, like, when, hey, come into the kitchen and do a pop-up with me, I'm like, I'm not in kitchen shape. Like, and I know that doesn't sound, because most of our audience is in kitchen shape. Take a month off. You get out of kitchen shape real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. When I went to Paris,
yeah.
Oh, bro, I was real comfy being the owner for a while. Luckily, I worked out. I was in okay shape, but it had nothing to do with kitchen shape.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with kitchen shape. As soon as I had to pull that big Lexan off the top shelf, I was like, okay, there she goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's
yeah, stand on your feet for 12.
Yep.
Yeah. When was the last time you did that? Like, I haven't done that in a while, but Chef, when we start wrapping up a podcast, I like to pick your brain a little bit and get some, let's talk your workstation.
Okay.
You're setting up your workstation. What is your finishing salt on your workstation?
Melvin.
Well done.
I like the texture.
Yeah. What about kosher salt? What's your all-purpose work salt? Is it kosher? Or,
Kosher.
Yeah. Is it Diamond Crystal or is it Morton's?
Diamond Crystal.
Okay.
Diamond Crystal.
Just making sure.
Yeah, Diamond.
You.
But I will say, since I've been overseas,
Yeah.
Diamond Crystal is not a thing.
So what do they use?
Sea salt.
The real
Sea
fine.
salt.
Yeah.
So I was salting the shit out of things for the first couple of weeks, and they kept being like, "Chef, this is a little salty."
Yeah.
But I mean, it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah. It's funny. Most people that come from Danielle use the really fine, right? Because that's what they use. What about tape? Are you a tape cut it straight or no?
I'm tape. Cut it with a knife or cut it with scissors.
No tape cutters.
Huh?
No tape cutter.
No, because it just takes up space.
Yeah. What about green or green tape? Blue tape?
I prefer green tape.
You prefer green?
I
Yeah.
prefer green tape.
Team green. Okay.
Unless I'm working in a place that has where the walk-in's downstairs,
Yeah.
and the kitchen's upstairs. If it's kitchen prep,
Yeah.
and it lives in the kitchen, blue tape. If it's walk-in prep, like Lexans, things like that, then it's green tape. But that's if I'm being like real psycho.
Why is that?
Because green ground, blue sky, I
Hey,
take the way I take, brother.
hey, no, that's good. I've never heard that, so that's good to know. What about your finishing acid? If you had a general and of course maybe it's dish.
Yeah.
But is it lemon? Is it lemon squeezers? Is it vinegars? Is it
Yes, I keep a few lemon cheeks.
Yeah.
I think it brightens things up really, really quickly.
lemon, or do you use all types of citrus?
Lemon specifically.
Yeah. If you had one thing that you do in the kitchen, it's like more people should do this. Like, this enhances flavor. This is a really good technique that a lot of people don't do. What is that one thing?
Taste your food. I mean, that sounds really obvious. One, taste your food. But the other thing that I do a lot is maybe a lot of people do this, but I feel like I'm constantly teaching people to do it.
Yeah.
I keep water on my station.
Like to dilute stuff?
Either to dilute it or just to bring it back a little bit or
Yeah.
just to round it out a touch. I keep water on my
Like
station.
a little squeeze bottle of
Just
water.
a little squeeze
I
bottle.
do the same thing. You know what I call it? I call it my Soigné water.
Yeah.
That-
Really?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the difference between having to throw something away
Yeah.
or start over or even a risotto, right?
Right.
Like just a few drops of water, you bring it right back. You don't have to rework that whole thing.
Right,
You know,
right.
you can take it all the way there, set it to the side, keep it warm for a second, few drops of water, give it a shake, we're good to go.
Yeah. Your sauce went down too far, a little drop of
A
water.
little drop of water.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to emulsify a little bit more butter into those potatoes,
Yes.
a little drop of water.
100%.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you on the water. I definitely do that.
What's your plate weight?
My plate white. Good question. I use vodka, and I use chick towel or torque towel, right?
Yeah.
Cut them and then I roll them. First I soak them and
Yeah.
then I roll them because they're easier to roll after they're soaked.
Now, do you do it or does front of house do it?
I like doing it myself. I do like doing it.
Asking.
No, I do like doing it. If I'm working the pass, it's like one of those Zen moments. Like, I love slicing onions. I love cutting mushrooms.
Yep.
I love skimming stock.
Yep.
And I love making plate whites.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like,
It's just a super it's like such muscle memory. You know what I mean? Like you go to a place.
Yeah.
And also, don't talk to me while I'm doing this.
Yeah. Right. What is your plate wipe?
Same. Chick towel. Use a little bit of vinegar and water.
Yeah.
Not vodka, because we all know my history.
Yeah. I had a guy on the other day, Barkley Dodge. He's got Bosque restaurant in Aspen. He worked at El Bulli, and he told me that the way that there's one bottle in the kitchen that's always red tape, and that's the liquor for the plate wipes.
Yeah.
That was an El Bulli thing. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I never seen the red tape thing, but I was like, okay. So maybe that picks up in other kitchens. Chef, if you had a chef's PSA out there for people, what would it be?
A chef's public service announcement?
Yeah.
Probably the one piece of advice that has served me better than any other. Just be a good cook.
Yeah.
I know that that's difficult to digest for people in today's day of money and bills and whatever else, but be a good cook. If you don't have the time to invest in yourself to be a good cook, you will never be a good chef. Be a good cook. Being a good cook means a lot of things, but also that you're open to learn and that you're open to criticism. You don't know what you don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I've never had your food, and I know that you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
If you are the kind of person that can't be told, that always thinks you know better, this is not the right job for you.
Yeah. If you had a Mount Rushmore of chefs out there, your 4 chefs that deserve to be on Mount Rushmore, who are they?
Walker Pierre White.
Yep.
Mario Batali.
Mm-hmm.
He's an amazing chef. Danielle Boulud. Paul Bocuse.
Chef, where can people find you?
Instagram, Chef Ashish Alfred.
This has been fun.
Thank you.
We have to do it again.
For sure.
Awesome, brother. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. You know what to do. Make sure you leave 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify or anywhere, really. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. I've completely revamped the Chef's PSA store, shop.chefspsa.com. My team added a ton of new items. I advise you to go check it out. Just peruse, look around. Maybe you see something nice that you like. Keep supporting the show. Go to chefspsa.com. You get books, obviously the merch, early access to episodes on Substack and Spotify for premium members. We'll see you next week. Hit the porno music.
No André in the kitchen, mixing, dropping chef knowledge, no fiction, stirring up the beats, heating up the session. Listen close, class is in session.